Good morning. Welcome to another Child of the Week Assembly. Today we start as usual with our liturgy. In the beginning, when God created all things, he said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Let your light shine. God is light, and in him there is no darkness. Let your light shine. Jesus said, "I am the light of the world. Let your light shine." So today's assembly is called Spit and Polish. And there's a picture here that goes with that title. I wonder whether you can make a connection. It's all to do with parades and the work that is put into making everybody that takes part look so smart. Got a picture here of a Remembrance Day parade in a few weeks' time. Some of you may be taking part, and this picture here is taken of the Girls' Brigade in Winslow a few years back. All the poppies, and there's St Lawrence Church. You might even see somebody you recognise there, or even yourself. And here we've got a picture of the Chelsea pensioners, the veterans from some of the wars, and here we've got some naval cadets in the background, all looking really smart as they take part in the celebrations and the Remembrance Parade. So you may be part of that, and I bet that if you are, then you make sure that your uniform is washed and pressed, and that you've got all your badges on, they're in the right place, and that you are looking as smart as you possibly can. You may be a beaver, or in rainbows, or brownies, cubs, scouts, guides, but all of you look so smart, and anybody that isn't in those brigades is welcome to join at school in the march down when we march behind our banner. This is a picture of my brother-in-law. His name's Trevor. He married my husband's sister, and he was in the Welsh Guards. He was a cornet player. Here he is coming out of Buckingham Palace for the Trooping of the Colour. That's a big parade that happens every year to celebrate the Queen's birthday. And here he is again, doing the changing of the guard at Windsor. He told me a little bit about what it means to get ready for parade. And particularly getting his boots ready. And this term, spit and polish, is something that goes back a long time. It's about the technique of water, spit in the olden days, but nowadays water, and polish to really bring up the shine on a soldier's boots. And he told me about how they pack the boots with sand because they're going to melt beeswax onto the boots, and they have to use heat. They don't want the boots to shrink. So it's packed with sand, and then they melt the beeswax. Here you can see the heater. And when that's all melted on, then they get a diamond cloth, and they begin to put the polish on all over the boots, and then with a circular motion, polishing in. It can take 2 or 3 hours for that polish on a first pair of boots. But at the end, you get this, what they call mirror shine, where you can really see your face in the boots. It takes a lot of hard work. But because of the hard work that is put in, the parade is absolutely amazing. And when you see our army, our soldiers on parade, it's just incredible how smart they look. I wonder if you know this story. It's one that Mrs. Thomas shared with me, and I thought we'd like to listen to it. Think a little bit about who works the hardest in this story.
The Tortoise and the Hare.
Once upon a time, there was a tortoise and a hare. The tortoise was friendly and quiet and did everything very slowly. The hare was a show-off and did everything very quickly. The hare liked to make fun of all the animals in the forest, but he especially liked to tease the tortoise about being so slow. When the tortoise ate his breakfast, the hare would say to him,
By the time you finish eating your food, it'll be time for dinner.
And when he watched the tortoise working in his garden, he would laugh and tease him by saying,
By the time you pick up all those weeds, new ones will have grown in their place.
All the animals in the forest were tired of hearing the hare brag about his speed, especially the tortoise. So one day, just as the hare was laughing at his slow speed yet again, the tortoise answered him back for the very first time. "Hare, I challenge you to a race," he said in his slow and steady voice. All of the animals in the forest were astonished, for they knew that the tortoise was the slowest of them all. The hare immediately burst into laughter and cried out,
What a joke! That slow coach thinks he can beat me. Come on, Mr. Tortoise, you shall see what my feet are made of. Why, I could beat you before you have even started.
"We will see," said the tortoise, as he watched the hare roll about on the floor laughing. The challenge was set and a route was planned. Early in the morning, as the sun came up in the sky, the tortoise and the hare stood at the starting line. All of the animals in the forest gathered around to watch the race. The tortoise and the hare were ready to start as the crowd began to count down. 3, 2, 1, go! With speed, the hare leapt forward in great leaps and bounds, and in no time at all he had left the plodding tortoise far behind on the dusty road. After a short while, the hare stopped and looked behind him. He could not see the tortoise any more.
I've as good as won this race.
The hare thought to himself.
There's really no reason to hurry.
So, as the sun was very warm, he decided to rest a bit under a shady tree.
I'll finish the race way ahead of that tortoise,
he told himself. And very soon the hare was sound asleep, and his little snooze stretched into a good long nap. Meanwhile, the tortoise jogged steadily along on the hot and dusty road. Ever so slowly, but surely. Until soon he passed the hare, who was still peacefully sleeping. Quietly, the tortoise plodded on towards the finish line. As he reached the end of the race, all of the other animals started to cheer for him. At that very point, the hare woke from his deep sleep with a jolt. He could now see the tortoise in front of him, but only as a small speck in the distance. Quickly, the hare jumped to his feet. He leaped and bounded at a great rate, gasping for breath as he raced to catch up. Just a little more and he'd be the first to the finish. But the hare's last leap was too late, for the tortoise had beaten him to the winning post. Tired and embarrassed, the hare slumped down beside the tortoise.
How did you beat me?
He asked. "Slow and steady wins the race," said the tortoise with a smile on his face. "Slow and steady." And from that day on, the hare never laughed at the tortoise again.
Can you remember what the moral of that story was? How did the tortoise win? He said it was slow and steady. If you remember back to the soldiers polishing their boots, it wasn't just a quick spit and polish. It took hours of layering, polish, and then another bit of polish and more, little by little, to get that really brilliant gleam on their boots. Slow and steady wins the race. In the Bible, it talks about all hard work bringing profit, and it means gaining from hard work. We saw the tortoise gaining there. We've seen the soldiers gaining from the hard work that they put in so that they look smart. And when the Queen comes by and she inspects the parade, she's pleased and they know that they've done her proud. It's a little bit like that for us at school. We may not be polishing our boots for a parade with the Queen. We may not be racing like the tortoise and the hare. But there's other ways in which we all put in our hard work to achieve something that we're proud of. Like this, rise to the challenge. We can all benefit from hard work, and you may not feel that you see the benefits of your hard work, especially if you're stuck on a maths problem or with your spellings. But learning at school is a little bit like that polishing of boots, layer upon layer. And we learn skills and knowledge, and it builds up one layer onto the next, one skill leading on to the next skill, one target achieved and then helping you to move on to the next. Think about when you learn your 2 times tables, it makes it so much easier to learn your 4 times tables. And if you learn your times tables, it's easier to divide. If you begin reading books with small words in them, short words and small books, then in time you get confident and skilled and you can read those longer books. And the problems that we go through maybe with our friends, they can all help us to become better friends. We all benefit from hard work. So, time to reflect. Have you ever polished your own shoes? Did it take you 3 hours? And maybe you are amazed that polishing a set of boots could take that long and that somebody could be bothered to spend so much time. I wonder if you can think about benefits that you've had from hard work. And maybe there's something even now that you need to put a bit of spit and polish, a bit of hard work into. Just take time to pause and think. And as usual, I'm going to say the prayer, and if you'd like to agree with my prayer, you can say Amen at the end. Dear God, we're thankful for examples of hard work and thankful for the benefits that we gain from a bit of spit and polish. Help us to build up the stamina to see our efforts build up and up until we see them shine. Amen. And we say the Lord's Prayer together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. And it's time again for our celebration of Child of the Week. So in year 1, Miss Berman has chosen Rebecca, and Miss Marsden has chosen Connie. Well done to both. Miss Franklin has chosen Aya as her Child of the Week, and Miles is Child of the Week for Miss Jakes and Mrs. Walker. In year 3, Mrs. Epps and Miss Poole have chosen Victoria, and Mason is Child of the Week for Miss Crofts. Into year 4, Miss Lefebvre has chosen William, and Mr. Wright has chosen Liam. Now to the top of the school in year 5. Mrs. O'Donoghue has chosen Kitara, and this is nice, Mr. Boyer has chosen Stephen. And finally in year 6, Miss Greenhill has chosen Lacey, and Alex is the Child of the Week for Mr. Niall. A big well done to all of you. Thank you for your hard work, for the spit and polish, the hard effort that you have put into all that you do, and to those values that you have shown, that have shone in your lives, just like those bright, shiny boots. Well done to all of you. And as we go into the week, go in the light and peace of Jesus, in the name of Christ. Amen.